Experience contracts simplified with AI Assistant.
at this. She got us our passes. So nice. Did you see your pass?
I saw my pass, but I don't need a pass. I don't need it.
Good evening. Nice to have you here tonight in the chatter. Always a welcome to have a nice audience and some students here to join us. So we welcome all students, staff, community. We welcome you here. And we also welcome our visitors joining us online. Board members, tonight we have before us a nice agenda. And as always, we'll have an opportunity in a minute to approve that. But as we open our meeting, could we all stand for an invocation followed by the pledge? Dear Heavenly Father, we're thankful for another day that we can come together as your school district. We thank you, Father, that as leaders in your school district, the students are what matter the most, and we count it all joy that we can gather to conduct the business of the Carlton County School District. As we focus on some of the words of our convocation, we know that we want to hear the good things that are happening in our district first, and then that helps us solve the problems. So we focus on two scriptures tonight, Father, from Ephesians and also from Philippians. Let no foul or polluting language, nor evil words, nor unwholesome or worthless talk ever come out of our mouths, but only the speech that is good and beneficial to the spiritual progress of others, as it is fitting to the need and the occasion, that it may be a blessing and give grace, God's favor to those who hear. And finally, brethren and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. We thank you, Father, for all good things come from you, and all these things we ask in your name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. Tonight it gives me great pleasure to welcome our Thunderbolt Career and Technology Center FFA students, and of course their wonderful sponsors. We welcome them as well, Mr. and Mrs. Lutton. So take it away, students. Let us hear our mission statement.
Hey, how y'all doing? Our mission statement is Carlton County School District will be prepare every student to graduate with a 21st century education to be globally competitive for their chosen college and our career path. And thanks for your support for the FFA.
Thank you. We're enjoying those plants you gave us last year and look forward to the many projects that you bring to our community, and we know you're growing up to be young leaders. Thank you. Mr. and Ms. Lutton. Thank you, Superintendent Williams. Always a joy to start our meeting off with students. And board members, tonight, let's be reminded of our civility pledge that's before us, and our state board asks that we recite this and remember it at our meeting. So please join with me. Thank you. I pledge to build a stronger and more effective school board by advocating for civil engagement, respecting others and their viewpoints, and finding solutions for the betterment of my school district. As I stated earlier, we have approval of our agenda that's been prepared and emailed, so please take a look and see if this agenda meets what we need for tonight, and if so, I'll entertain a motion.
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we approve the agenda for tonight.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. Please, any discussion that we need to have about the agenda, let it happen now. Hearing none, all those in favor of the agenda with all board members present, may I see your right hand? Thank you. We'll carry forth with the agenda that's been prepared. Under Chairman's report, please notice that we do have minutes to review for our July 15th meeting, our July 25th meeting, as well as our August 12th meeting. Thank you, Ms. Hyman, for getting those prepared for us, and I'll entertain a motion that we accept the minutes.
Madam Chair, make a motion that we approve the minutes as presented for July the 15th, July the 25th, August the 12th, and August the 12th.
Madam Chair, I second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion or corrections to the minutes that were sent for our review? Hearing none, all those in favor, please show by your right hand. Thank you. Unanimous. Board members, we're thankful that two of our board members will be able to attend the school law conference coming up this weekend in Charleston. We look forward to a good report from Trustee Cunningham and Trustee Nixon. We know that you will have a wonderful time, and it will expand your knowledge of our school board at that conference. Thank you. Also, board members, please note the deadline if you want to attend the regional advocacy meeting that's right here in our board room. It will be board people from all over our region, board members, as well as some of our local officials we're going to invite to be a part of our group. So please mark your calendars from 5 to 7 on the 24th, and we need to register by September 17th. So let Ms. Hyman know, even though it's right here, they need a head count because they'll be providing a meal, correct, Ms. Wicken? And we've been getting that in our mail and also on our email. Also, please plan ahead. Always a good conference in Charleston, December 6th and 7th, the November 14th deadline for the Legislative Advocacy Conference, if some of us would like to attend that. Okay. Moving right along, we look forward to our third section where we have recognition. Every member of Team Colleton works for kids and makes important contributions towards becoming a world-class school system is one of our core values. So, Superintendent Williams, we look forward to your staff recognition tonight.
All right. Thank you, Chair Strobel. And I want to say good evening to our board members. I want to say good evening to our district level staff, our community members, our school level staff, everyone, our students, everyone that's here with us tonight. I did have one staff recognition, but she is not with us tonight. So we're going to postpone that and do it at our next meeting. If you would like, I can move on to my superintendent's update if you would like for me to move forward.
Sure. I'll just have one announcement to keep flowing. The policy committee meeting is set for August 26th. That's this following Tuesday at 5. And as you look through her report, you'll see we also have a capital project work session that evening at 6. So that'll carry us right into your report, Superintendent Williams. We know effective leadership supports learning and optimal performance for all students, so we look forward to hearing your report.
All right. Thank you, Chair Strobel, again. And first of all, I just want to say, board members, that I gave my complete report last week at the Committee of the Whole meeting. I do have one update, and it's just simply to let you know that we are in the process of finalizing plans with the Boys and Girls Club of the Low Country. I had a representative from the Boys and Girls of the Low Country come and present to you back in June, and they are coming to be with us this Thursday. I have a principals meeting scheduled, and they will have have a work session with our principals to finalize plans, and we're hoping to roll out the implementation of the Boys and Girls Club at least by either the end of September, the last week in September, or the 1st of October. So I just wanted to let you know that plans are still moving forward for the Boys and Girls Club. There's a lot of different things that we have to work out, but I feel very confident that we will get them all worked out, and we will also be working with our Office of Federal Programs to make this a very collaborative initiative, and I'm looking forward to getting started with this initiative. So I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Superintendent Williams, is that a particular location, or how will that roll out?
So right now, we are planning to roll it out at all of our elementary schools, including our early childhood center, and also our middle school. So we will, see what our parents, see if they're interested. It's a win-win situation for our students because academics will be, there'll be heavy emphasis on academics, and then also giving our students opportunities and experiences through field trips and different things. They are willing to work in tandem with our robotics program. So I'm really excited about this partnership and just really ready for it to get started.
Other questions, board members? Ms. Williams, since you mentioned that, can you give us an update on our after-school program, just so parents that are listening, might be informed? I know there was a little delay in starting, but if you can update the parents.
And, the after-school programs were delayed because of the federal funding.
Yes.
However, I think I did update you in a Friday brief, and I let you know that funding had been released. So we are, like I said before, we are trying to pool our funds together at the elementary and middle school levels to work in tandem with the Boys and Girls Club of the Lowcountry. However, we do have some programs at the high school level, and I don't have an update on that. I can get that update for you and put it in my board brief, unless we have any updates from Interim Assistant Superintendent Dr. Jenkins or Ms. Bozeman. Dr. Jenkins, do you have any updates on any after-school programming at this time? Okay. And I do know that the GAP program is scheduled to begin, I think, by September 8th. Is that correct, Ms. Bozeman?
Yeah, in the high school, they want to start small way back up, and they're not getting any priority funds again this year, to our knowledge yet, so they're still working on last year's priority funds. And we're writing an amendment right now to kind of fill in some gaps so that they can go ahead and start back to their Twilight. They're amending some of their priority money, but Twilight will be starting back at the high school.
So Twilight would be September, they can look forward to that?
Probably sooner than that.
Sooner than,
They're ready.
okay.
We're just trying to make sure they were straight with their money.
Okay, good. Just as we can bring update and have it on our website, so everyone's aware of those opportunities.
Most definitely.
Madam Chair, may I ask a question, and that is about the Original Six Foundation and their programming in our district. What schools do they service?
Yes, so the Original Six Foundation, they serve Cottageville Elementary and Northside Elementary. So I will give you updates as far as when that will be starting as well.
Will those schools also have a Boys and Girls program?
They will, and those are some of the details that we're going to work through on Thursday at our principals meeting, working through, how many students will be served in one program, because we want all of our students to be engaged in some type of after-school programming if their parents will allow. So I don't want to say, okay, because we have Original Six, we're not going to do Boys and Girls Club. So after Thursday's meeting, I will be better able to just give you a better full update of how we're going to roll everything out. Okay? All right. I also, last week, our chair announced, and you just announced tonight too, that the policy committee meeting will be on Tuesday, August 26th at 5:00 p.m. And I am also asking and requesting that we also have a capital projects work session on that same evening, immediately following the policy committee meeting at 6:00 p.m. Okay. All right. I have a few overnight field trips for you for your approval tonight as well. We sent 4 field trips for your review, and tonight we're asking for your approval of trip number 4178, which is a trip to the Moultrie, Georgia, and it's the Sun Belt Ag Expo and ABAC College Tour. And then trip number 420, and we have 14 students attending and 2 adults. And then trip number 4218 to Greenwood, South Carolina, to Piedmont Technical College. This is the South Carolina FFA Veterinarian Science Career Development Program. 5 students will be attending and 2 adults. And then trip number 4219, this trip is to North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. It is the South Carolina FFA Equine Camp, if I said that correctly. There will be 12 students attending and 2 adults attending. I think there's 1 listed on your information sheet, but there will need to be two adults for that particular trip. And then there's another trip number 4224. That one is to Clemson, South Carolina, to the Career Development Event Days, 16 students and 2 adults. And the sponsors of all 4 of these educational events are Ms. Robin and Gary Lutton. So if you have any specific questions, I know that they're here tonight, and I know that they will be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. At this time, board members, if someone's comfortable, we could make a motion for all of those trips, if someone's comfortable with that. You've got the information to review, and the instructors are here to ask questions. So I'll entertain a motion separately or all together.
I move that we accept the 4 overnight field trip requests as stipulated.
Second.
There's a motion, there's a second. The information has been provided to us and outlined by Ms. Williams. Any discussion or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor, please show by your right hand. Thank you. And thank you, Mr. and Ms. Lutton. Sounds like you got a great group that's ready to roll.
All right. Thank you, Chair Strobel, and this ends my report for tonight.
Thank you.
I'm going to go ahead and call Ms. Wilcie Hamilton up for the Human Resources update.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I do not have any updates. I know that a request was made of me last week, and Ms. Williams has that information. Okay? Any questions? I'm happy to answer.
Any update on the teachers? I know we're waiting on a few, just a few. They're here.
Well, we're waiting on 2. We're waiting on 2, and we can get into conversation in the bag.
Okay,
About the
good,
why.
good, good.
Yep.
Thank you.
And I just wanted to say that I do have that information that was requested, and I will send it in the Friday update.
And what's next, Ms. Williams? You want to welcome?
Sure. Next, we have Ms. Ramona Barrett with our finance update.
Good evening. You had my report from last week. I don't have any more to add to it, but I'll be glad to ask any question that you may have, answer any questions.
Board members, any questions? Thank you, Ms. Barrett.
Thank you.
Moving on to Section 6, Academic and Student Affairs. We know one of our core values and one of the most important ones is teaching and learning. So we look forward to hearing any updates or any questions you might have for Dr. Cordelia Jenkins that will be bringing the first item. And she also brought a report about the State Department support that we still have currently, and then other things to follow.
Good evening.
Good evening.
As you mentioned, you have a copy of my report. However, this evening, you will hear updates from our Director of Exceptional Learning, Dr. Durden, and some updates about the PBSS that you see in your file. Last week, I said I would keep you updated about our enrollment count. As of today, we have a total of 4,223 students enrolled, and the next comparative data report will be on the 15th, that is Friday, August 22nd. Another big reporting date will be October 6th. Just a reminder, that is day 45. And that's the date that our allocations are based. And we always hear Ms. Ramona telling us, go find our children, go get our children, go find our kids. So please bring your children to school.
What is that date, one more time, for day 45?
October 6th.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Dr. Durden.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Okay.
We're waiting to pull up his PowerPoint.
Oh, there we go.
Thank you.
All right. I'm not sure if you received a copy of this, but I was going to just go through it. So I'm going to read the first part of this. Colleton County School District Office of Exceptional Learning meets the needs of students ages 3 through 21 who are eligible for special education and related services according to the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, which is IDA. I'm going to highlight this portion here. The piece I want to highlight is the department is composed of more than 123 teachers, school psychologists, therapists, specialists, and special education teacher assistants who are trained to provide specialties, design, instruction, and services that are designed to support students in their learning. Colleton County, as of this year, currently as of August 1st, we had 158 students that were being served with IEPs from pre-K through 12 plus. We do have some students that are enrolled at the Adult Learning Center. Approximately 20% of our student population are receiving IEP services here in Colleton County. Comparable to the nation's average, our state average, and then a few other states, we are, of course, higher than most of those areas. These are the total number of students that were enrolled as of August 1st in each of the schools. I'm not going to go through each one of them yet, but basically, we also serve students that are in private school, homebound, and Head Start, and that's about 44 students there as of August 1st. Last year, we had 93 students that were referred for evaluation, which is about 0.03% of our student population. 58 students were evaluated and were determined not eligible, and 35 students were eligible. I'm sorry, were ineligible, excuse me. I might have said that wrong. 58 students were evaluated and were eligible, and 35 students were evaluated and were not ineligible. Currently, evaluations this year, we have in our, we call IDEA Child Find and South Carolina State BabyNet, which is pre-K through 3. We have 15 students that are in the process of being evaluated at this moment between now and I believe that's September 30th. Physical therapy, we have 4 students, and those are birth through 3. Occupation services, that's 14 Child Find and 14 BabyNet. And then our speech and language area, there has 8 students for birth through 3. This is how many students that are being served in our related services areas. These individuals serve students not in the actual classroom setting, but in the school setting. And there's currently 440 speech students, 68 physical therapy, 161 occupational, 7 hearing, 11 vision, and we have 58 students receiving nursing services on their IEP. Here's the leadership team that supports all the schools in the work that they do. We have facilitators that are working with the schools on a daily basis, coaching and working with the principals, troubleshooting anything that they need. This is the list of all the personnel within the Exceptional Learning Department that are working in the schools and at the district office. And I made sure I provided names with the positions, so that way you have names with a position. So sometimes people just see a school, but not the name. So these are people that actually work in those schools and support the schools. Transportation, we have 134 students who receive specialized transportation, which that means is it's on their IEP, which means they have to have their services. And we appreciate Bradley and his team working hard to get those students to school because some of those students have specialized service needs that they have to handle. I provided you with a data piece from the state. The state audits us every year and provides us with what we call data reports, and this is our tablified informational data for discipline and disproportionality. And as you can see there, I noticed you probably say, well, all these numbers. So in a nutshell, it goes by every year. So this year, for 25-26, we'll be looking at 24-25. Last year's data, this is what you see, was 23-24, and we had, I'm just going to talk about that top line because that's the key that they look at. So we had 49 students that were 10 or more days suspended in 22-23, but 53 the next year, which is a difference of 4. And the category, you see at the bottom where it says special education total discipline removals, well, 256, whereas 22-23, 1,191 was 23-24. And right now we don't have the data for 24-25 until it comes out of embargo. But with that being said, our scorecard for 22-23, we received a 1, which means a finding of at least something out of compliance. Last score we had a score of 2, which had no findings of non-compliance. So that means even though we had a high number of referrals and we had 4 more students that were suspended 10 or more days, we still had no findings of non-compliance. So we were within state compliance. And it's just another figure of the bottom piece there. And right here is the curriculum overview. We provide curriculum support that augments iReady, that supports the students in the regular ed classrooms. That's the list of the curriculum there. If you need a definition of each one of those curriculums, I can provide that to Superintendent Williams if need be, instead of going through each one of them. But we have what's called supplemental, which is resource, supplantive, which is what we call our multi-category classroom, and then our low incidence classrooms, we have the same type of curriculum. Our goals for this 25-26 year, as we branch off with the schools to look at inclusive classrooms. We want to make sure schools have an inclusive mindset and use high leverage practices, and we're in the process of starting professional development, working with the PLCs in those categories, where you have their professional collaboration amongst learners, support, regardless of placement, creating a culture of learning and risk-taking for all, collaboration for student and teacher effectiveness, and authentic learner engagement for all. Do you have any questions on this report? And if there's anything that it's need definitions on, I can provide that to Superintendent Williams so she can provide that to you.
Dr. Durden, I have a couple questions. First, well, maybe 2 questions in one. Who recommends the children to be tested or looked at for special needs services? And then secondly, who is responsible for determining whether a child is considered special needs or needs an IEP or not?
Okay. Well, first group that can refer a student is the school and the parent, and that's what the child find is. So a parent can say that I want to have my student assessed, and then the team does a planning meeting to say what data is on the table that says that the student needs to be assessed. Just because the parent says they need a student assessed, it may not happen because there's not enough data to support it. A principal or a teacher can say the same thing, and they have to provide evidence that says why a student needs to be assessed for special education. The person that's responsible for starting the implementation of the evaluation is the school psychologist, and he or she is the one that lays out a plan on what's going to be evaluated. And typically it's a comprehensive evaluation, which includes speech, OT, and PT. So if a student qualifies just for academics, then the school psychologist is the one that does that. If a student qualifies for speech, then a speech pathologist, and then occupational therapist and PT if the student needs that. So those are the individuals that do the assessments for students to see if they need special education for IEP.
Okay, thank you. And I asked that question because I guess I have my own hypotheses on why, but I would be curious to know why our percentages are higher than the state average and also other states near us. I mean, like I said, I've got my own ideas, but I would be curious what the science would show as to why ours is that much higher.
Well, I'm not going to speculate because I don't have the facts in front of me. But I can just tell you that since COVID, those numbers have put up a lot for Colleton County. So from 2019-20 up until now, our percentage has increased. And I don't have that answer in front of you, but we can dive into it and provide it to Superintendent Williams and get it to you.
Okay, thank you.
And Dr. Durden, I think I'd like to piggyback on that. I noticed the precipitous increase between 21-22 and 22-23. If we could pull those numbers up again, it was like, what, 256, 22-23, and then 20, you went past it.
Are you talking about the discipline?
1191. Yeah, then to 1191. I mean, and that was well after COVID. Mm-hmm. How do we figure out, how does that happen? I guess that's my question.
Well, I can't speak for 22-23 at this moment, but I know that 23-24, and like I said earlier, even though we had higher, and these are referrals, even though we had a higher referral number in 23-24, we still were within state compliance. The number you see for 24-25, as you see there, that is just information. Our actual number will not be available until we get all our data back from the state. I want to say, I think that's what, September? So that number that's 23-10 may not just be accurate. But to answer your question, why it was 256 at that time, I don't have that answer for you. But I can tell you that in 23-24, we did have a no tolerance on certain areas, and that increased our referrals. But once again, we were within state compliance.
All right, thank you.
Other questions? Thank you, Dr. Durden and Superintendent Williams, for giving us those numbers and information, and we know we're working to improve everything for every child. So thank you. Thank you.
Madam Chair, I will get back in order according to the agenda, the outline with the State Department Technical Support update. Ms. Small, she's currently meeting with all of our principals, district leaders, according to our needs, and she will also participate with our principals meeting on Thursdays, and she's in the process of scheduling a meeting with Superintendent Williams and myself to review and discuss our future goals. At this time, I would like to give some updates on our PBSS pilot program. I know at the end of the school year, a lot of stakeholders were uneasy about having to discontinue the impact program for elementary children that displayed challenging behaviors. So district leaders, school leaders, as well as principals and the PBSS themselves, the positive behavior support specialists, the PBSS themselves, we got together to work on a pilot, and we created and came up with a work plan. And from that, when we took an assessment of PBSS and how they were distributed across the district, we reassigned some to support in our larger elementary schools who were experiencing a high frequency number of incidents with children having issues with redirecting themselves. So in doing so, those extra not extra, none were extra, but an additional PBSS staff member was assigned to Cottageville, Forest Hills, and Northside. And from that, we continue to have discussions and work on and we are continuing by developing our work plan. So the work plan is still in draft, but it is a live document that the school leaders are actually implementing it with their PBSS that's on staff. And for us this evening, we have one of our outstanding school leaders, Principal Tashina Allen from Cottageville, who would like to expound on how the extra PBSS and is supporting their students at Cottageville Elementary School.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
We bring you greetings from Cottageville Elementary, where our Eagles continue to soar, and this year we are going to hashtag keep pounding. So, with the PBSS, we have Miss Elizabeth Green, who's been with us for the past 4 years, and this year we were joined by none other than Coach Tremaine Clayton. He has been a wonderful asset to our building, to our students, to our staff, and to our parents. We've been working very hard with building relationships. One of the things that he said is he's used to the older kids. What does he do with babies? But he has done a phenomenal job in working with them. We had 2 students who came back from Impact. Those 2 students, they visit with the PBSS personnel daily. If they're having an issue, they know who to seek out. So far, they have been doing a phenomenal job in the classroom, and even when there's just been just a little bit of shake, they are asking to go and speak to someone to get some support. So we're very excited about our new PBSS and the fact that we have 2 to work with. There are a lot of check-ins going on. They have students that they are checking in with. Some of them, depending upon, even though it's day 11, y'all, some of them, depending upon their need, it's up to 3 to 4 times a day that they will go in and check in on them. If they need a break, they make sure to give that kid that break, walk with them, talk with them. They're giving them those strategies that they don't have in self-regulation. We're working to build that with them, but they are working even harder. Basically working with our babies emotionally, mentally, socially, behaviorally, and academically, because some of our kids misbehave because they don't understand what it is that's being taught at the time. So they're making the relationships and the connections where they don't mind going to the reset room to stay for 15 to 20 minutes to get a little bit of extra assistance, or they'll go to the office, the PBSS office, and sit with them so they don't feel embarrassed in front of their peers because they don't understand something. Finally, basically, it's all about reset, redirection, and reentry as quickly as we possibly can. I know that's only been the first 11 days, but I can say it has truly been, it's been a blessed first 11 days with the addition of the extra PBSS personnel.
Thank you, Ms. Allen. Any questions, board members?
Madam Chair, I just want to address Ms. Williams and applaud the effort that we've seen, and just ask that we continue to receive updates as it relates to discipline numbers. But in all the academic and student affairs reports that we received tonight, You know, we heard a lot about the Office of Exceptional Learning and that diversified instruction that we provide for our students. Ms. Allen has just provided us an update on the ways in which they are providing a different strategy on discipline at Cottageville, and that's being used throughout the district. And again, these are the strengths that we have in our district, so keeping that as a routine update for this board, I think, is very helpful.
And if I can echo, it just sounds like some common sense things that we did in the past in relationship building and making it focused on the child at the school with the people that he's with every day. So I'm sure there are others up here that would echo that it's good common sense that we work with each child and give them what they need.
Thank you.
Moving on, Ms. Williams, anything else before we move on?
No, that's it.
Okay, so we're down to section 7, operational management. We all know that one of our core values is a safe, secure, positive learning environment will be conducive for teaching and learning. So we welcome Dr. Martin White to give us any updates and any questions you might have, board members, from his report from last week.
Good evening, Chairwoman Strobel, Vice Chair Murdoch, members of the board, Superintendent Williams. I bring you information from the Division of Operational Management. Madam Chair, you already have the division's PowerPoint presentation from last week. We have no new additional information to present to the board other than what's in that presentation and or what has been presented to you through the Superintendent's Weekly Update. I'll entertain any questions that the board members or you may have at this time, Madam Chair.
Board members, any questions for the August report?
Dr. Wright, I have one question, and it's kind of a backtrack from a couple weeks back. Last meeting I was at, I think we were asking about the update on the fire systems throughout the district. Were we able to get a report on that while I was out, or do we have any updates on as far as, I know we were trying to get everything in order before school started. Are all of our fire systems up and running currently, or were we able to do that before school got started?
Thank you, sir, for that question. I think we've actually entertained that question in the superintendent's Friday's report, particular to one particular school's fire panel system that's being worked on right now. And we do have an RFP that we are structuring, but we ran into some obstacles in the structuring of that due to some contracts that we recently discovered that we are under. And we can provide the board with more information through the Superintendent's Weekly Update at the Superintendent's direction.
Okay.
Other questions, board members?
Madam Chair, if I may just acknowledge with Dr. Wright that I understand things are constantly changing. What is working today may be broken tomorrow. What is broken today may be fixed tomorrow. So I understand that your reports are consistently being updated. That said, last week I asked the question about the air conditioning at the gym, and specifically related to following Dr. Meyer's report about volleyball, upcoming home matches, which we have a match tonight. JV is playing. We wish them the best against Woodland. But as we host those contests, we want to make sure that we have a safe environment for our competitors, but especially also our own athletes. When I asked the question, I asked for an update this week. After the meeting, I then learned, and I feel bad that I misled the public that the air conditioning was not working, because it was reported to me after the meeting that it is indeed working. So just want to ensure we have working air conditioning at the high school.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. So at our high school in our arena gym, we actually have 2 powerful air conditioning units in that gym. One of those units went down during the week that we had our back to school bash, and I just happened to be there early that morning to help mitigate that unit and get that unit restarted. So we have 2 of them. One of them is still down, the other one is working properly. So the one that's working properly is providing the proper ventilation that we need to keep that gym cool up until we get that second one fixed. Now, how do we mitigate that second one? Is through our capital improvement that the board has approved through the RFP process that we're waiting to conclude.
Got it. I understand, Dr. White, we'll probably get some more updates
Yes, ma'am.
next Tuesday at capital project budget meeting.
Yes,
Or
ma'am.
projects meeting, rather. But I just want to be able to express, again, the concern about the number of air conditioning issues that we have going on throughout the district. It was given to us and reported 2 pages worth of issues. And so as those get knocked off, I think it's important that the board be updated, just so that we can continue to keep, we hear about it, whether or not you tell us or not. So I'd rather the official word come and us understand that. Thank you for all your work.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Whitkin. And I will, I know the document that you're referring to, I sent it week before last. So what we will do is we will update that document so that you will know what is in progress, what has been completed, and what is still broken.
And Madam Superintendent, I think we also should bring clarity to some of those air conditioning fixes are as a result of us concluding our RFP for our HVAC systems to make sure that we move quicker on those situations. And we just ended the first part of that RFP last Friday. The Friday before last, we just concluded an evaluation of it. And so after the posting of our 2 recommendations, there's a 15-day protest period according to procurement process and procedures. And once we get through that 15-day protest, then we will be, as a district, be able to officially award the contract to our HVAC company so that we can move quicker, faster, and better in response to our HVAC systems and repairs.
Thank you, Dr. Wright. I know we have ongoing the high school roof project, and I'm sure you get those weekly reports that are required so that
Yes,
Superintendent
ma'am.
Williams knows how things are going. Can you update the public, please, on the progress for that roof, since, that is a very large building and it's not due to be completed until December?
We have scheduled, in concert with the contractor, a tentative completion date, which would have been November 2025. But as of last week, we are approximately 70% completed with that roofing system at Colleton County High School, which means we will potentially accelerate our completion date that we initially put in place to make sure we have room for completion, given the fact that we may have experienced any potential hazardous or severe weather situations within the county due to hurricane seasons. If that makes clarification for you, Madam Chair.
Yes.
Yes.
And if we could just receive updates on that. I know you get weekly updates from the architect, and just keep us posted on that so we can be on time for getting that roof secure.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Be
Any
my
other
pleasure.
questions, board members? Thank you, Dr.
Thank
Wright.
you, Madam Chair. Have a good evening, board members.
Thank you. Moving along to item number 9, we do have 2 items that we need to discuss in executive session, board members. Our attorney, I apologize, didn't mention, Ms. Allison is joining us by phone, and she will join us for our executive session as well. We have discussion of employment matters, and we have receipt of legal advice. So at this time, I'll entertain a motion that we enter into executive session, and if we need any action, we will do that when we return.
Madam Chair, I make a motion we enter into executive session for items number 9.01, discussion of employment matters, and item 9.02, receive legal updates.
Is there a second? Second. There's a motion and a second for 2 items that need discussion. We'll return if we have any action to take. We will at that time for discussion of employment matters and receipt of legal updates. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please show your right hand. Thank you. Unanimous. We will be in executive session. entertain a motion that we enter back into regular session.
Madam Chair, make a motion, we enter back into regular session.
I'll second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion about moving back into regular session? Hearing none, all those in favor, please show your right hand. Thank you. The ayes have it. It was unanimous. Board members, please be reminded that next Tuesday, we have a 5 o'clock policy committee. We appreciate the policy committee and the work they do, followed by a capital project work session that will be at 6 p.m. So if you can be in attendance, there's lots of good information to be received. We will also look forward in our September meeting of hearing from the 2 trustees that are going to the law conference. So bring us something good to share.
Tell me something good.
Yes, bring us something good. Anything else that needs to come before the board tonight? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion that we adjourn.
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please show your right hand. Have a good evening. Meeting adjourned. Thank you all.
All right, so they said Friday night's game is at home.
Oh, bias.
And I see Friday night.
Good.